made it, dude. I didn't think we could get this Jeep done in time to head out to Moab. Can you imagine everything that had to get done in 2 weeks? Why don't you list it off?
Yeah, so first we had to fix the transmission. That was crunchy as heck. Second and third gears were shot. We had to pull the transmission out. New synchros in that puppy on all 5 gears. Then we had to fix the stance. The Comanche was just too low. Thanks to our friends at TerraFlex, we got this thing looking right. It's got about a 4-inch lift overall, but then of course the tires were too small, so our friends at BFG sent us over some of these incredible BFG mud terrains, which look really cool. And then of course, the exhaust was shot. It was just rusty and old and crusty, so we replaced it with a custom unit.
Yeah, and now it sounds actually like a pretty badass truck. We're here at Devin's Car Care, and we're gonna get a lift to our Comanche. Here's my concern. These are 33s. But before we hit the road tomorrow, there's 2 more things we have to do, and I think these are important. Number 1 is we gotta put some stickers on. I like stickering it up. And number 2, this has been bugging me so much. Check this out, dude. This grill is on upside down.
Yeah, it needs to be replaced, but if we're going to show this to the head of Jeep Design,
yeah,
the grill has to be on correct. So along with the TJ front bits in the front here, we actually have the Falcon JK shocks adapted onto this MJ Comanche. So I have the Falcon logo here. Man, look at that! On the right way around. That was probably the most difficult job this Jeep has had done. That was 8 screws and they weren't in that tight, so I really didn't have to put a lot of leverage on them, but you know, whew, big job.
Of course, I'm rocking the Rubicon version of the Gladiator, which means I've got all the off-road goodies that Jeep throws at this truck, just like they do at the Wrangler. So we're looking at Dana 44s, disconnectable sway bars, locking front and rear diff, pretty much as off-road ready of a factory truck as you can get from Jeep. Tommy, from the factory years, didn't come quite as equipped, so what have we done to it to make it more off-road ready?
Unlike this new Gladiator, I have the legendary Jeep 4-liter straight 6, about 180 horsepower. Now, like my dad said, the Comanche didn't come as off-road capable as the Gladiator out of the factory. I only have 307 gears. I have a Dana 30 and a Dana 35. I have open differentials front and rear, and this particular Comanche Pioneer has the off-road group, which means I have some skid plates, but that's about it. Now, we have done some stuff to make this a lot more capable off-road. We have an all-new suspension system on this MJ. MJ is the internal code for Comanche, by the way. So we've got a lot of TJ parts up front, and coming along the side here, you'll see the most important piece of off-road tech on any Jeep, the BFG 33 by 10.5 R15 tires on stock rims. In the back, well, the suspension system just isn't as technologically advanced as the Gladiator. He has coil springs, I've got good old-fashioned leaf springs, and I also have a set of Falcon JK shocks on this Comanche. Okay, first kind of test here. Now with these 33s, which is a really big tire by the way on a MJ or XJ without really chopping stuff, this Jeep does really pretty well actually. I've been pretty blown away with how it's performed off-road. The flex is super great, but the ride is surprisingly comfortable and there is a ton of ground clearance. Okay, let's see, dude. We're gonna hit here. Front feels fine. How about the back? back feels okay too, actually. Yeah, look at that. Not bad.
What's the crawl ratio on the
Comanche?
Yeah.
It's just not very good.
Okay, you know what this one is? You know what this one is?
It's really good, yeah. So this has got 410s, and it also has a really low transfer case as well. The Comanche's got 307s, and now that it has 33s on it, it's not very good. But we're about to see the disadvantage of being about as long as,
a semi-truck?
I was gonna say school bus, but we can say semi-truck too.
Let's see if I hit on this. This is a test of departure and approach angle. Am I gonna scrape? Oh yeah. I felt that. Definitely scraped. Knew that was coming. Knew that was coming for sure. Well, I did scrape, dude.
So did you get a hemorrhoid?
No, I didn't get a hemorrhoid. I just scraped a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
On a scale of 1 to hemorrhoid, how bad did you scrape?
You know, that nice cushy ride is well worth the extra length of the truck. Plus it means I can, you know, put more stuff in the back. I actually have room in my back seat for like real people.
So is the frame nice and cushy too?
Yeah, frame is good. The seats are good. So Tommy, there's no doubt that this truck has a lot more off-road goodies and it's going to be just a lot more capable. So I'm going to have mercy on you, and I'm not going to use all of my off-road goodies to keep it fair. So I won't use the disconnect, I won't use my locking diffs. I'm just going to put it in four-wheel drive and rely on that to get me up and over all the obstacles.
Yeah, but you still have like brake lock differentials, you still have modern axles, you still have a more modern transfer case, it doesn't leak. So, yeah, but I do have one big advantage, one monumental advantage over this Gladiator that you guys always forget about, and that is size. This is a short bed Comanche. Look how narrow this is. I can reach from end to end. It's nice and tidy in terms of length. It's got a lot of ground clearance. This thing, I can just choose my line and make my way up anything.
So what are you saying? This is a fat Jeep?
Well, I'm not saying it's fat, but it certainly is incredibly long, and I can promise you, you're going to be scraping your butt more than a Kardashian walking through a narrow door.
Where'd you come up with that, dude?
Well, have you seen the size of your butt? Look how long it is. And why is there 14 feet of space between both wheels?
That's because mine is a 4-door and yours is a 2-door.
Yes, but this is how a real off-road Jeep should look. Small, 2-door, single cab with a big bed.
All right, Tommy, we like to call this one butt clencher.
Great. Butt clencher. At least I have 30-year-old brakes, so that's ideal.
Down the butt clencher. Actually, the brakes are really good. Oh, not that good though. They're not. They're good, but they're not that good apparently. Hey, but we made it down. The Comanche just keeps going and going and going.
It's hard to tell you exactly how steep this is, but it's super steep. And I'll have no problem here. I'll of course scrape again at the bottom, as one does in the Gladiator. This is like 30 degrees of straight down. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Seatbelts are holding me in place. Under the hood, I of course have the ubiquitous FCA power plant, the Pentastar, and in this case it has made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now interestingly, we both have the same tire size, but I've got these Wild Peaks, but they're about the same size. Of course I've got a lot more protection, including skid plates, and I've got, well,
Rock rails.
Jeepers, yeah, I've got rock rails, and this truck is so long that the rock rails actually extend all the way to the back of the bed here. The coolest bit of tech I think I have is right here. Check it out. It's Fox shocks. Yep, just like the Raptor, now the Jeep comes with Fox shocks. Unfortunately, these aren't active, but they'll do.
It's doesn't flex nearly as well as your Gladiator does, but it did it. You know, we're still putting along.
Yeah, I'm watching those Falcon shocks work, and right now I'm looking at you like, you know, it's doing really good. I think this one makes it look effortless. I think you gotta, really work at it.
For sure.
All right, this is our tested departure angle, Tommy.
And breakover.
And breakover angle. So, yeah, I think that thing's gonna hit its tow hitch. I was gonna say ass, but...
And your belly.
You think?
Yeah, I think this is different.
All right, go for it.
Come on, truck.
Oh, it's scary. It's very steep and deep.
Oh, wow, I didn't scrape. Unbelievable amount of clearance. How about oh, he scraped. That right there was not brilliant. Oh, come on. I am so sorry, truck.
If he scraped, God, I'm gonna scrape so much more. Holy cow. All right, let me go. I think I'm gonna hit here. Really slow, brand new Gladiator. Oh, didn't hit. Didn't hit. Now I'm gonna hit. I'm hitting. Yeah, I'm hitting.
Both of these Jeeps use a very similar philosophy, and our friend Emmy described the Gladiator as business up front, party out back, like a mullet. But I think it's more like a reverse mullet, and here's what I'm talking about. From here forward, this Comanche is pretty much exactly the same as a Cherokee. And from here forward on the Gladiator, it's pretty much the same as a Wrangler. Now this is the party side. This is the fun engine, let's go off-road side. It's out back here where the work really happens. And on a Comanche, it uses something called a uniframe. So it's unibody up front with a frame in the back. This is the business side of a Comanche, and back then, this thing had an absurd payload. In fact, it was more than a comparable full-size 1500 Dodge Ram.
Guys, we need to talk because once upon a time, trucks were tools. They were something you bought because you needed to haul a lot of things or tow a lot of things. And I think while this Gladiator has a bed, it's still more of a recreational vehicle that people will be using off-road and maybe using to tailgate. Because at $60,000, which give or take is what this cost, it's more expensive than, well, many full-size trucks. Now, Tommy's truck, the Comanche, people bought that because they needed a trucky truck, a real truck. They bought it not because they wanted to go off-roading here in Utah, but because they needed to, well, move things or haul stuff. This, on the other hand, this is a bit of an expensive toy, but that's okay. Times have changed. If you're gonna have a toy, you should have a fun one, and this is it.
My dad is absolutely right about that. Now, you could get a Comanche in a long bed and a two-wheel drive configuration. Good luck finding a Gladiator spec'd out like that. Now, the maximum capacity of the Gladiator is a best-in-class, according to Jeep, of 1,600 pounds. The maximum payload capacity of a '89 Comanche, 2,200 pounds.
Tommy, everybody knows that a Jeep has always had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slotted grill. Isn't that right? Why don't you count yours?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Put your hand down.
Dun dun dun! 8!
8! What's up with that, dude?
Yeah.
How come you got 8, not 7?
Yeah, I don't know, but for some reason in this period, these Comanches and Cherokees had an 8-slotted grill. That was real funky.
Hey, why does your license plate say ass?
It doesn't say ass.
It says ass.
No, it says ass. You talk about ass. Have you seen the back of your truck?
It's a sexy ass. All right, I think we call this butt scratcher or as scratcher this next test because this really does test approach and departure angles as best as possible. There's a baby one and then there's a full-on one.
Yeah. Crawl rate Ratio's pretty good. Visibility is excellent in the Comanche. Yep, okay, and then ready. Wait for the butt, wait for the butt. Here comes the butt. Ooh, nothing! Good job, Comanche. Okay, we're good. Everything's fine. Okay. Okay, now let's see the butt. Here comes the butt. Oh, nice! Just a little tiny scrape. Something tells me there's not going to be a little tiny scrape with my dad back there, though.
This is where I would hit. Oh yeah. Yeah, hitting. Yep, hitting. Sure, of course hitting. And here is the big one. This will test both approach and departure angles. Now usually when we do this, the front of the Jeep is like a snowplow. So there we go. We'll see. See if I hit. That's test of approach. Am I hitting, Matt?
Nope.
No hitting. But departure is going to be horrible. Oh, I can feel it now. I can hear the scratch. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Left a bit of the pitch on the as scratcher for sure. Okay, Tommy, so my takeaway after having done fins and things is that these Jeeps are pretty much equivalent to their regular Jeep counterparts. What I mean by that is that your Comanche is very similar to the Cherokee, and my Gladiator is very similar to the Wrangler, with one exception, and that is that the butt clencher is a little bit more clenchier, and the ass scratcher is a little bit more scratchier.
I have no idea what any of that means. I think the real takeaway here is that they both did the trail pretty well. Go figure, my lifted Comanche has a little bit more clearance than the stock Gladiator. But the Gladiator is a much smoother ride, it's much more capable, it's much more comfy, the transmission's better, and it doesn't overheat.
Yeah, that's a mouthful, man. We'll see you guys next time. Ciao. Coming up next time on the Jeep Pickup Challenge, having done old versus new, I was wondering what it's like to do old versus old. What it was like to off-road in the 80s. Gosh, I hate these hats. Well, next time, it's Comanche versus Suzuki versus the Colorado mountains.